All right, so I apologize in advance for my baby. If she cries, we will try to limit any noises. Tonight's rundown: Uncle Tom's, plural, Nas, Sasha Obama, Issa Rae, and YBN Almighty J. That kind of rhymes. Issa Rae and YBN Almighty J. You guys know who that is?
YBN what?
Is he the one that
Almighty
dates?
J.
What's her name?
That's right. Okay, cool. That's all we needed to know, and you know it. The show starts right now. Welcome to another edition of Bros Talk Live, the best show on the internet for you by us. My name is Jason. Let's kick it over to my main man, Dex. What up, bro?
Dexter Stuckey here, guys. I have a story. I know you guys have missed my story. So earlier today, yesterday, I texted my barber and I'm like, I need you to cut my hair. Are you available tomorrow after work? And he's like, yeah, sure, of course. And I'm like, oh, thank God, because I've been walking around here looking like a dog. So today he texts me and he's like, oh, I have to reschedule. And I'm like, but I'm ugly. And legit, I now know. I used to always laugh at women. My sister, when she would take her hair out and the stylist would cancel on her or something like that, I would always be like you're so dramatic. It's not that big of a deal. Who cares? Now I know exactly how women feel when they take their hair out and their stylist cancels on them. If you do that, you deserve a special place in hell, because that is not okay to let a person know that they're good. Because after you get your hair done or get your hair cut, you look and feel like a bag of money. But if you don't get it done and you think that you're about to, you look and feel like shit. And that's what I look and feel like right now.
Feel like a bag of nickels.
Right.
Tyler God, you recovering from a little bit of an illness, but otherwise, are you okay? Blessed in the Lord?
At all times.
Amen. I see them shining back there. You got some diamonds in the room or something that's reflecting off of that gold?
They're always
glistening. Ooh, diamonds dancing. Speaking of diamonds, we have Will's teeth. What up, bro? How are you?
I'm yet in the land of the living, so I'm wonderful.
Good. You look nice and clear.
No praise.
What's going on there?
What did you say, Bill? What did you say, Ty?
His teeth are white. They're a little too white. Look fake.
Those porcelain veneers.
The veneers shining
those porcelain veneers. Those Nene leaks. All right, we're bringing back a part of the show from last week that we had called Cookout a Coffee Shop, inspired by Dex. He's so happy. Look at him. He's excited now.
I just want to give a shout out
He was
to
so unengaged.
No, because all week today I've been getting questions and comments about cookouts and coffee shops. So I want to give a shout out to Dylan, Brandon, and Tasha, because all week long they've been talking to me about cookouts and coffee shops, that leads me to believe that they listen to the show, which really means a lot. And to everyone else who listens to the show, really, I appreciate it, and we all appreciate it.
Sorry. Amen. And in light of that, we have a couple of new people to join the party. If you guys don't know the premise is Black people have cookouts, and since Black people aren't allowed in coffee shops, I guess we're going to give those to the others. So you're either invited to the cookout or you're staying with the others. And last week we escorted a lot of people to the coffee shop, including Kanye, including who else was there? There's a couple of other rappers. Daniel Caesar, your boy Will, he got pushed over to the coffee shop. And
he was I forgot what the woman's name was, but he was liking her post talking about some Black people decided to be slaves and all this stuff like that. He was doing the most. We had to put him in there.
I heard, and I listened to the show last week, and I was just like, he's got to go.
He was trying to be sneaky too, because he liked it. He liked it versus retweeting it. So I caught that sneakiness. And speaking of sneakiness with the likes, I have a seat today for someone who's done that too. So stick around.
Come on, T. Come through, teams. Comedian Michelle Wolf is under fire, and we're going to ask whether or not she's invited to the coffee shop with the cookout. This is what she said at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which is traditionally a roast of the current president of the United States. She said, quote, every time Sarah, talking about Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the press secretary, steps up to the podium, I get excited because I'm not sure what we're going to get. A press briefing, a bunch of lies, or divided into softball teams. I actually really like Sarah. I think she's very resourceful, but she burns facts and then she uses that ash to create a perfect smoky eye. Maybe she's born with it, maybe it's lies. It's probably lies. And I'm never really sure what to call Sarah Huckabee Sanders. You know, is it Sarah Sanders? Is it Sarah Huckabee Sanders? Is it cousin Huckabee? Is it Auntie Huckabee Sanders? Like, what's Uncle Tom but for white women who disappoint other white women? Oh, I know, Aunt Coulter. I thought that was pretty funny. A lot of people didn't like that, including NBC's lead foreign affairs correspondent, Andrea Mitchell. She said, apology is owed to...
Good day, Andrea.
I gave a title,
Andrea Mitchell.
Gave that title, though. That title was smooth. Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent. Come through, title. She said, apology is owed to press secretary and others grossly insulted by Michelle Wolf at White House Correspondents Association dinner, which started with uplifting, heartfelt speech. Comedian was worse since Imus insulted Clintons. And also Mika from, what's that show? Mika, what's that show that she's on, Dex? You know, like Dawn and Mika or something like that? Or Morning Joe. Morning Joe, that's the show she's on. But she said, watching a wife and mother being humiliated on national television for her looks is deplorable. I have experienced insults about my appearance from the president. All women have a duty to unite when these attacks happen. And the White House Correspondents Association owes Sarah an apology. And they did give Sarah an apology, as you can see right here on the right side of the tweet. They said basically that we did not appreciate the entertainers' attempt to be funny at this event, basically. Michelle Wolf decided to get on Twitter and say, why are you guys making this about Sarah's looks? I said she burns facts and uses the ash to create a perfect smoky eye. I complimented her eye makeup and her ingenuity of materials. Kathy Griffin, who's also been repeatedly insulted by the president, said, please point us to the tweets where you said something like this about the president of the United States when he was attacking people at rallies and his supporters were laughing. It was a roast. Guys, does Michelle Wolf deserve a seat at the cookout, or should she still stay at the coffee shop?
I guess I'll go. I don't want any of them to get too comfortable coming to the cookout.
Yeah,
them. Right to the
us versus them.
Them.
She's got to go. I don't.
Ty, what you say? Wait, Ty, what did you say?
How about a coffee shop across the street from the cookout?
Come on, you're either in or you're not.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't think some of that stuff was like really, really funny, and some of that stuff was just like, girl, like do you not like the woman? But here's my issue.
Brutal.
Nobody had an issue when the current president of the United States was saying that the former president of the United States was not born in America. Nobody cared about his children.
We did.
We did, but
the larger media. I got you. The larger media. Okay, we are still part of the media.
But she's still not invited to the cookout. Send her right on over to the coffee shop.
Dang, Dex, you invited her to the cookout?
Really, I wouldn't have had an issue with her coming to the cookout if she didn't violate rule number 1.
What?
When it comes down to you putting a statement out there, and
she didn't apologize.
Someone calls you out on your statement. You don't tell us that you complimented her eye makeup. You say, in the famous words of Nene Leakes, I said what I said. And that's where you leave it at. And anytime you do anything additional, you stay over there with the coffee shop. Sorry. Like I said, the coffee shop across the street from the cookout. So you can catch the aromas, but you can't catch no barbecue sauce.
Or Dex, she could also say one of your famous quotes.
Drink bleach.
That's one. Or stay mad and stay ugly.
That's all.
That's it.
That's it. That's what you do. You stay mad, you stay ugly. I said what I said. Like, move on. But you didn't do that, so you can't come.
Speaking of moving on, Kanye West, we talked about him a lot last week. He's back in the news this week for multiple reasons. Dex is so excited. Why are you so good?
No idea.
All right, it all started. This is where we're going to start. He tweeted out a picture of his phone messages, and he was talking to somebody, I guess, named Wes, who was probably his manager. He said, "This is my album cover. This is plastic surgeon Jan Adams, the person who performed my mom's final surgery. Do you have any title ideas? I want to forgive and stop hating." The person sent him back, "Love everyone." And Kanye replied by saying, "I love that." And so Kanye tweeted, "I've got a new challenge for everyone today. Pick someone that you had an argument with, that you think you hate, maybe even someone you haven't spoken to in years, and contact that person and tell them, I love you." Nothing wrong with that whatsoever, in Kanye's mind at least. A lot of people were kind of creeped out because they say, why would you use this man's thing? this man's picture without his consent. And that's what Dr. Jan Adams thought as well, because he sent Kanye an open letter. And in this open letter, he decided that he was going to tell Kanye the truth. That's why you make that next year, right?
That is a lot. You had a lot of time to type.
A lot of typing.
Yeah, a lot of typing. That's a bit much.
A lot of typing. So in this letter, one of the big point of this letter all resided in the first 2 paragraphs, where he says, "Thank you for thinking of me for the cover of your next album. That is kind of you. I can truly say I've never been on an album cover before. Unfortunately, I have to decline at this time, and I ask that you cease and desist using my photo or any image of me to promote your album or any of your work. I don't want to seem ungrateful. I just think that if, in fact, this conversion to love is genuine on your part, then it's inappropriate to drag the negativity of the past with it." Come through statement. Kanye loved it. He said, "Open letter from Jan Adams. This is amazing. Thank you so much for this connection, brother. I can't wait to sit with you and start hailing. And I appreciate the cease and desist letter that you wrote to me." But Dr. Jan Adams, that's basically what he did. But he wasn't the only one taking an aim at Kanye this week. Literally, Daz Dillinger, who is a rapper from the Dog Pound, apparently it's still a group out here in LA, sent out a national Crip alert. Yo, national alert, all the Crips out there, yo, F Kanye up. Better not ever see you in concert. Better not ever see you around the LBC. Better not ever see you around California. Stay in Calabasas. You heard me, because we got a Crip alert for Kanye. All the Crips out there, you see him, bang on his ass, F him up. He is currently under FBI investigation, if you're wondering about the current status of Daz Dillinger, because they've taken these claims very seriously. Then he sat down with Charlemagne. And this was released today, and he talked about going into having a meltdown and how he loved it and how it changed his life for the better. And it's not a breakdown, but it was a breakthrough. And he wants to change the stigma of being crazy while still being crazy. And he also said that he also said that he used the world as his therapist. He said, anyone I talk to is my therapist. I'll pull them into conversation and I'll talk through things. And I put that advice to people to use. And I think that you should talk to all your friends for 45 minutes. And that's all the therapy that you basically need. Then Charlemagne asked him, do you think that Donald Trump cares about black people? And Kanye said this: I felt like when I came out and expressed what I said and what I felt, that it was almost like a Clayton Bigsby moment, talking about the Dave Chappelle skit, when everybody's head exploded. My response is, well, racism isn't the deal breaker for me. If that was the case, I wouldn't live in America in this gated community. I deal with racism. He said, there will be mistakes. There will be flaws in the ways that I communicate, because we're human beings and we're flawed. I'm not media trained. I'm not studied in that. And I'm not trying to say the right thing. I'm just trying to say exactly what I feel out of love. Another quote from this interview that I found remarkably engaging was this: when I saw Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, that's when I wanted to use Bitcoin. It's like all the slave movies. Why you got to keep reminding us about slavery? Why don't you put Michael Jordan on the $20 bill?
Nobody's putting that coon on anything. He's on a sneaker.
And then, like, I wrote all of this today. Like, I was done. I was done the show. Then I had to go back in and put this in, because Kanye went on TMZ Live and he decided to say this. When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you were there for 400 years and it's all of you all. Like, we're mentally in prison. So prison is something that unites us as one race, blacks and whites being one race. We're the human race. Then, someone got him from TMZ. His name's Van Lathan. He got Kanye back. Kanye basically asked him, do you feel what I'm feeling? And basically Van said, no, we don't know what the hell you're talking about, because you're not making any sense, basically. And he said he's appalled because you have certain responsibility, because you have a certain ilk and certain influence in America. And he basically laid it down straight. So if you haven't seen that, go to Bro Talk Live's Instagram page and check that out. But then Kanye decided to keep responding, clarify what he said. To make myself clear, of course, I know that slaves did not get shackled and put on a boat by free will. They cut out our tongue so we couldn't communicate to each other. I will not allow my tongue to be cut. My point is, for us to have stayed in that position, even though the numbers were on our side, means that we were mentally enslaved. Bill, take it away. Coffee shop or cookout?
Absolutely. I don't even want him in the coffee shop at this point. like I don't even know where to put him. But
That's what he wants to be.
I don't want you. He wants to be in the coffee shop, but they want to put him in the field picking the coffee beans. So that's where he needs to be.
Dex.
I think he should still be at the cookout because, like, still, like, I remember when we had this conversation maybe a year or two ago, and I was anti-Kanye, and everybody else was pro-Kanye and told me to be quiet. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't agree with Dexter 100% of the time.
You were right. You're right. I give it to you. You're right.
Whatever. And so now, keep him at the cookout with y'all. Like, y'all can't get rid of him. Like, he has to stay with y'all. He's just like Kelly.
Like hell we can't.
Like, let him stay right where he's at. And for those of you who are like agreeing with him, stay with him. Like, keep that same energy. Cookout all the way with the Kool-Aid.
No, definitely not staying at the cookout. We have to evict him. And as somebody who was one of Kanye's biggest fans, as Ty can attest, and as Bill can attest, and as Dex can attest, I was an apologist for a very long time for Kanye. And Dex, you're very happy at this moment. Why are you smiling? You're very happy. You are sincerely
as Ty will attest.
I was wrong.
As Ty will attest, and Bill will attest, and you will attest, you don't like to admit that when you're wrong. You just don't do it.
I admit it.
Yeah, this is the first for me.
You in the spirit, Dex. You in the book.
I always admit when I was wrong.
I thought Jason was about to take that wrongness to his grave.
Right.
I can't support it. And
no lie, I was really ready to come on this show and argue because I just knew that one of the
I was ready for Jason to come up with some reason.
Yeah, I knew someone was gonna defend Kanye West, and I was just ready because I was like, "This is the day I'm gonna get fired because I'm going off. Like, I'm throwing every curse word out. I'm talking about your mom. Like, we going at it.
I'm talking about your mom."
Do you think there's any hope? Because I don't. Like, there was a point where I thought he could come back from this, but like once you go, like, and you start talking about slavery and sounding just plain ignorant, you really can't get that credibility back.
So that,
do you think people are going to purchase this forthcoming album?
Purchase? I'll stream. I mean, I have Apple Music, so I'll stream it.
He gets money for streaming it.
I
know.
No, but it takes like 150 spins or something like that.
And I think he'll get those. I think people are still going to listen to the music, which is one of the reasons why I said, like, he has to stay at the cookout because people are still going to support him. And it's weird to me because if this was anybody else, if this was like Justin Bieber or somebody like, a better example, somebody who's actually black. Remember when Stacey Dash started to say some of the same similar stuff? Remember that time, you guys might not remember this woman, but there was this woman by the name of Raven Simone who said some of the same stuff like I was saying. We haven't heard a peep out of Raven Simone.
Not nary a peep.
We have the power to get rid of these people's careers, and we refuse to do that to Kanye West. So as long as we continue to protect him, he's going to continue to do stuff like this.
And I think that time's coming to an end because he talked about in that Charlemagne interview, or Leonard, as Monique calls him, in that Leonard interview, he talked about how hard it was after he took the mic from Taylor Swift. At the VMAs, and how hard it's been for him to even cross over to radio anymore.
But like, but that's not us. Like,
that's not us. But
he
it's still like his actions still have consequences. That's still a reflection of that.
But this is the thing, though, and this is another thing, and this is something that like really sticks out to me. If he would have said this statement, like say he said like Jews or something like that, and made a statement like this about Jewish people, he'd be canceled right now. Like, they wouldn't even release the damn CD. Like, that's Harvey Levin would have been like, turn this camera off. Like, he would have cut TMZ off. And it's like, black people, we need to stop being so stupid. Like, we're allowing Kanye West to do and say these things to us and about us, and we would sit up and argue with each other, defending him about this stuff instead of just canceling him. Like, you're being disrespectful.
Well, I've canceled, and Van canceled, so give it up to Van because he did a very good job on TMZ.
Because even like you just said just now, and you're informed. And you said you're still going to stream his music. Think about the people who are not.
I said I might.
You might, but
here's what
Jason, you're definitely going to stream this album,
right? But I won't.
Here's what I say to all of that: scoopity poop, whoopity scoopity doop.
I don't even know what that means.
Whoopty scoopty poop.
I've seen that on the internet. Is that from that T.I. song or something?
Like, I don't know what that's about. Because
the only reason I listened to that T.I. song was to post it on Music Monday. That was it. I didn't listen to it other than that. Okay. There we go. All right. And last but not least, Ty was very excited to give Chance the Rapper a seat, and I'm just going to let him do it now because Chance decided to apologize for supporting Kanye West,
Oh,
and
shut up.
he decided to post this on his Twitter page. Anyone who knows me knows how passionate I am about my city and loved ones. Kanye is not just a mentor or big homie; he's my family. No matter how much I may disagree with him, it's hard for me to watch people talk about someone I love, even if they were justified in doing so. I didn't speak up because I agree with what Kanye had to say or because I F with Trump. I did it because I wanted to help my friend and because I felt like I was being used to attack him. Unfortunately, my attempt to support Kanye is being used to discredit my brothers and sisters in the movement, and I can't sit by and let that happen either. Blah, blah, blah. He basically said... he basically said that he does not necessarily support what Kanye is standing for. He just supports Kanye the man. Ty,
that's what Kanye is saying about Trump.
That is basically what Kanye is saying about Trump. So does Chance the Rapper
I want Chance the Motormouth
spot back? What did you say, Ty?
I want Chance the Motormouth to shut the hell up.
Oh my God!
Like there's a Chance quote on everything. Like why is there a book of Chance quotes about everything? Like shut the hell up.
We like Chance. Chance is a friend of the show.
No, we don't anymore.
No. We want to like Chance, but he's
I want to like him. I really do.
About everything.
I appreciate what he's done.
Look at Dex, he's smiling again. Dex is so happy today. All my faves are going down in fury, dumpster fire.
It's just amazing to me. Never mind. Y'all go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
just going down like a dumpster fire. Dex, Chance, Cookout Coffee Shop, still at the coffee shop?
No, Chance is at the coffee shop because he wants to be at the cookout, and like people, I think people will legit let Chance go. It's one of those things like, you know how people will argue about Kanye West and like that. Nobody would do that for Chance the Rapper. I think people will be okay with letting him go. Like your time is up.
I like Chance.
We want to like Chance, and
not me.
Well, Dex doesn't. I want to like Chance. I also want
Chance is a brother in Christ, and he's a very talented artist. So if you're ever interested in coming on the show, Chance, just listen.
The Saints got to learn how to shut up sometimes.
All right, Ballot. What was Barack's reaction? Moving on from coffee shop and cookouts. What was Barack's reaction to this picture? As you can see, Sasha, baby Sasha, all grown up. Was called at Broccoli Fest behind the scenes chatting with Cardi, Barty, and which one? Offset, I think this one is. So guys, how do you think? Why are you laughing? How do you think Barack? What it is? I think it's Offset. What do you think Barack's reaction to this picture was?
I think it was cool. As long as you don't get pregnant, I think that if you listen to everybody, you got a valid. You'll be a good person, but you gotta listen to everybody, including the people that are not from here. Because what else is America? But a land of people that don't belong here. God bless America, no place else. 4 more years. Yes, we can.
I think he was cool with it because he likes Chance. Like he releases little summer playlists and stuff like that, and he has current artists on there. He might have Barty on there, don't you think, Dex?
He might.
Yeah, I'm sure Barack Obama is at home listening to "My Vagina Feels Like a Lake." I'm sure I'm sure that's what tickles his fancy.
Oh gosh. Ty, what you think about if you were Barack? How would you feel about seeing your daughter in between Cardi B and Offset from the Migos fame?
I mean, God did ratchet, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, right? I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think he cared that much.
I mean, she's on. Was she like 17, 18? So she's going to college. She's grown enough, I think.
Is this the one that's at Harvard?
Oh no, this is the other one.
No, that's Maria. That's Malia.
If she was one at Harvard, she would have a cigarette in her mouth.
Watch your mouth. Stay respectful.
Barack Hussein looked at that picture. He said,
Dex, what was she doing, Dex?
When Barack looked at that picture, he said, "Thank God I'm out that damn White House."
He could have like Cardi and Offset and the
No, he
baby
wouldn't
to
have
the White
either.
House.
They sure would have put him out then.
All right, should we mute Nas too? Hashtag mute Nas. If you guys don't know about this hashtag, it's not really a hashtag yet, but the mute R. Kelly hashtag is real. Ava DuVernay decided to say, we join the call to mute R. Kelly and insist on safety and dignity of all women. We demand investigations into R. Kelly, blah, 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 blah. Hashtag mute R. Kelly, hashtag times up, hashtag woman of color. So basically don't listen to any R. Kelly songs, watch any R. Kelly music videos, or go to any R. Kelly concerts.
Can I ask you a question about this?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I want to propose this to you guys, and it's not something that I'm like 100% like on, but it's like my thought process on this. So, like last week, we learned that Bill Cosby was found guilty, right? And we have to accept it. We have to own that. Like, that's something that, like, he was found guilty. Like, there is no defending what he did. And when it came down to, let's say, George Zimmerman, when we got the verdict of what it was, like, he was found innocent. No matter how we feel, we have to deal with it, right? So, like, when it comes to R. Kelly, when this stuff happened, when he went to court for it, he was found innocent, right? So, like, nothing has happened where R. Kelly has been found guilty of anything, right? Like, the only thing that's happening is that people on the outside are saying, like, girls are being kept by their will, and girls are being, like, kept at his house, whatever, and they don't want to be there. But, like, we're not hearing these women say that. Like, these girls aren't taking him to court. Like, there's no court case.
Well, some girls who have gotten out of R. Kelly's custody have said that. It's just the girls who are currently in his custody aren't speaking out. And they're not saying it. But there have been some girls that have come out and escaped. And that's what that BBC documentary that I was telling you about last week is actually about. One of the women that was under R. Kelly actually spoke to that documentary and told everything. And it's been multiple women that have told the exact same story.
I'm not saying I disagree. I didn't know about that, but I'm not saying I disagree with those women at all. Like, if that's what happened, that's what happened. But, like, there are multiple situations where people say, like, this person did this or this person did that, but, like, we typically wait until things are settled in court before we start before things actually start to affect the person.
But we wanted to go back to court because the reason that it got out of court in the first place was because R. Kelly said it was his brother, and somehow the lawyer was able to convince the judge and the jury that was true. It was ridiculous.
But in our country,
the case actually wasn't even settled. It was thrown out.
But in our country, aren't we supposed to respect that?
Did we respect OJ? No, we locked his ass back up.
No, but not for that same thing, though. I'm just saying, if we're going to keep that energy,
and he's out now, so that's the point.
If we're going to keep that energy, and we're going to tell people, like, in this country, you're guilty until you're proven. I mean, in this country, you're innocent until you're proven guilty.
Did it right the first time.
I mean, that's basically what we're doing. We're saying he's guilty now until he's going to be proven innocent. But that's not how it's supposed to be.
Let Bill go, and then I'm gonna finish the story.
I'm sorry. Well, I just feel like we have to just be more careful when we're trying to cancel this man and say that not to stream him, listen to his music or whatever. He should probably be found guilty on something.
Here's the thing: R. Kelly is guilty, like, point blank. Period. He is guilty as the day is long.
Like, in the court of public opinion.
No, not in the court of public opinion. I'm talking about in the court of fact.
I mean, I saw the video. Like, I
don't watch child pornography, so I haven't seen the video.
Oh, God. Okay.
I've not seen the video either. This is a comment.
Neither have I.
And it was R. Damn Kelly.
I'm relying on Jason.
And it was
R. relying on Jason. We're all relying on Jason's memory.
Rely on me. I will set.
I just wanted to throw it out there. Like, I was just curious.
But he is, and I'm not talking about in the court of public opinion. I'm talking about what I know. R. Kelly is guilty. He's been guilty for a long time.
I've seen it with my own two eyes. Like, I saw R. Kelly's face in that video, and that's what it was. Point blank clear. But regardless, let me finish the point of the whole story, which was actually Nas. R. Kelly, for his part, has basically said what Dex said, that this is a public lynching of a black man who has made extraordinary contributions to our culture. Blah 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 blah. So he has actually spoken out and said that these women have all decided on their own to be captured by R. Kelly. But the news that came out this week that was surprising was Khalees, who said this about her relationship with Nas. I didn't file for a divorce because he cheated. He'd been cheating for 2 years, and I knew that. It was because of, on top of all the other stuff, then you're going to cheat. Okay, this is too much. It was really toxic. I was pregnant, and at 7 months pregnant, I was terrified. It was really dark. There was a lot of drinking and a lot of mental and physical abuse. We would fight. I never just sat there, but we would definitely fight. I waited 9 years to say anything, and the amount of airing out that I could do, and I've chosen not to, our kids will find out. They're finding out now, and I've never painted myself as a saint. Did he hit me? Mm-hmm. And did I hit him? Mm-hmm. But it was because he would black out. He would drink too much. He would never admit it, but he drank too much. And there were times when we would party and I'd drink with him, but he would keep drinking and we'd have the worst night ever. And then we wake up the next day and it's like it never happened. But something reminded me of Rihanna. I remember so clearly when the pictures came out with that whole thing that happened with her and Chris Brown. I had bruises all over my body at the time. That day, I remember being in Atlanta, sitting in the kitchen, and I wasn't ready to walk, so I didn't say it. And seeing her, the way that she looked, and then looking at myself, I was embarrassed. I wasn't ready for that move, and I thought that I could love past this. Nas, for his part, has posted this on Instagram saying, this is what it's all about, pure peace and pure love, pure happiness. At Young SI Nick said, so Nas's response to allegations of domestic violence is to post an old shot of him and their son while co-signing shots of his ex-wife on Instagram. Guys, is it Mute Nas season now, or should we let this one iron out and just mind our business?
Iron out and mind our business? Like, listen, abuse is wrong in any form, mental, physical, emotional. It's wrong. I don't think that people, like, I was having this conversation about separating the art from the artist. And like, that's something that is really difficult to do.
It is.
Like with all of the art that certain people have contributed, like, you can't pacify their behavior because they make good art or they produce good art. Like, they have to be accountable. Like, something has to give. You can't just be walking around here beating on people and tying people up and pissing on them, and you think it's okay because we step in the name of love. Or like it's not okay. It's not okay.
All right. Ty, Bill says that we should. Is it Mute Nas for you, Bill? Mute Nas?
What?
Is it Mute Nas officially?
Yeah.
Okay. Ty, are we muting Nas, or are we going to let this one play out?
Honestly, it's difficult for me to involve myself in a lot of these things because my actions to mute Nas would be for me to continue my course of action. Like, I have not paid any attention to Nas. So it's kind of difficult to say I'm going to mute Nas because, like, what am I going to do differently? Like, I'd have to, like, intentionally, like, turn the radio if any off chance.
You don't listen to, like, Hate Me Now or, like, nothing from Illmatic or anything like that?
No.
The only thing I listened to was If I Ruled the World because Lauryn was on it.
If it comes on, I'll listen to that, but I don't like seek it out and like, oh, I want to hear that song. I do think it's a great song. He has a lot of great songs, but I'm not saying that he doesn't. I just don't like seek him out. It just doesn't happen. So mute him. It doesn't matter. But I don't think we should excuse abuse, and I think that is an issue, and I think that I think that people shouldn't just continue to try to sweep those kinds of issues under the rug. People do need to be held accountable for that type of behavior because it's really animalistic and crazy. And we can no longer say like, oh, that's just how artists are. Like, we're not going to do that.
I don't necessarily think there needs to be a muting. I feel the same way as like the R. Kelly stuff. I don't necessarily jump into like the bandwagon of saying like, oh, this person should be muted for their actions or for what they did or what they said or whatever. But I do think that it's a responsibility on their part to address what they did or what they're being accused of. And if you're not addressing it, then you're giving people the opportunity to say that that's real or that did happen. I think what Nas should be doing at this moment right now, not posting your child, like, yes, this is your personal business or whatever, but this is being put out publicly. You need to talk. You need to say something. And if you did do this, Own up to it. Own up to what you did. Explain to us how you've changed. Have you changed at all? Are you still this man that did that same thing? Because if you're not, if you are, then let us know that too. Because then you can be muted, like the radio has already done.
Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, that is one thing. Like people do the response to people's behavior lately has been to, if you notice, like a lot of celebrities, has been to just pretend that it's not happening. Like I'm going to just post a random picture of myself. Like that's like the new thing. That's the new, like, have you noticed that?
Yeah,
like,
Tristan Thompson just did that.
What'd you say?
Tristan Thompson just did that. Like, sir, you know, we're talking about you. What are you doing?
I mean, R. Kelly had been doing it up until he finally released a statement. I mean, but it's been like 2 years.
Like, do you not?
That's the thing. Like, what do you think this is? Like, we're talking about you. Like Dex said, we're talking about you, sir. We need a response now.
Let's go.
All right, let's move on. Speaking of going, quick segment today is going to be called "Racist." It's not particularly I don't know how to say this, inflammatory this week. Issa Rae was was caught on Twitter by at Tariq, and he tweeted, "F is this, Issa Rae," and it's an excerpt from her book in which she says the following: "This is what I propose, that Black women and Asian men join forces in love, marriage, and procreation. Educated Black women, what better intellectual match for you than an Asian man? And I'm not talking about Filipinos. They're like the blacks of Asians." So a lot of people got up in arms about it. This guy, damn she bad underscore. I love pronouncing these usernames. It's so funny to me. Issa Rae basically said that successful Black women are not heavily sought out by Black men, and successful Asian men are not heavily sought out by anyone. Therefore, the two should date. I see no issue. Queen Issa, next case. But on the other side of the fence, at underscore Jackin for tweets underscore, when Black men state their preference, we get killed for it and want people to respect it. So let Issa want her little Asian man. She is in the vast majority. Guys, do you have a problem with what Issa Rae said? Is it racist? Is it not? What you think?
I didn't have a problem with what Issa Rae said because like that could be her preference, but I do have an issue with other people like defending it. Like that, like.
But she's a comedian.
Since when is she a comedian?
She's a comedic writer. She's a comedian.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's news to me.
I've never watched any of her materials. I wouldn't.
You didn't watch Insecure? Insecure is a comedy. Awkward Black Girl was a comedy.
I don't catch the
Everything
comedy.
She's written has been a comedy.
But anyway, my issue is the defending it. Like if she says this, it's like one of those things like you look at it and you say like, oh, whatever, that's her opinion. But when people go out and they publicly defend things, like that's when I get like annoyed by it because like let people have their own opinions, but like you don't have to co-sign it. Just shut the hell up and just go on with your day. I'm
not particularly co-signing it. I'm just saying that I think it was written in satire because
I don't think she meant it on purpose. That's her opinion.
I mean, it was a book based on comedy. Bill?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, like I said, I would have to see context, but I wouldn't have taken it literally to say like don't date. Like I think it's a ridiculous concept that all Black women date Asian. I think that's
it didn't create an uproar when the book came out 5 years ago, but now.
So I mean, that's my point. Like it was too much of a silly
because people understood at the time it was a satire,
or we didn't know who she was,
or people took that it was a satire because they knew who she was. People who actually read the book. You didn't read the book because you didn't know who she was. Bill?
and also, I do think that is racist towards Filipino people. Okay. Like they're the blacks. Okay. What the hell is that supposed to mean? That satire or not? Like that's rude as hell, and that's racist.
That is rude.
So yes, it's racist.
Bill?
Are we all clear now?
Why are Filipinos the blacks of Asians? I don't get that.
What does that mean for Black men though? Like blacks? What? Now, just that's satire.
Yes, it's satire. It's racial satire. Comedians make racial jokes all the time. Are you kidding me?
All right.
But what does that mean for Filipinos? Like, is there something wrong with them? Like, are they different?
Is there something wrong with blacks? No, they're just treated like something's wrong with them. That's what she's saying. They're treated.
You're on her payroll. All right, I got it.
I'm on the payroll. Okay. Bill, did you have something to say about Issa?
Spoiler alert.
Not
I heard
now. I
Lawrence
don't.
is not going to be on Insecure season 2. I guess Jason's probably taking over that role. Well, go ahead.
I could feel it, couldn't I? All right, let's just move on. Time for gospel. These are good stories about blacks. In this week's gospel, a 20-year-old man went to celebrate his birthday with his friends, but the waiter asked their table to prepay. They were the only group of Black people in the restaurant. The victim, Emil Wickham, told CNN that the 2014 incident didn't sit right with him. So he decided to do something about it, and do something about it he did. He complained to the Human Rights Tribunal, and an adjudicator said that she found no evidence that a policy to prepay for meal was real. So earlier this month, it was ruled that Hong Xing Chinese restaurant racially discriminated against them, and they paid him $10,000 for it. So shout out to homeboy who got $10,000.
All right.
In his pockets.
Stay mad, stay ugly, and clean them sinks.
That's right. What Beyonce? Didn't Beyonce say something about getting them checks? I can't remember what the quote was. Beyonce fans tweet me. It was something about they be mad when you get them
paper.
checks. That's what it is. What was it? That's something like that. The best revenge is your paper. That's what it is. Okay, I hear that. So you guys, would you take a racial incident for $10,000?
Depends how bad it was.
If it was
tell you one thing, I'm walking around with more than $10,000.
It's not much that I wouldn't take for $10,000.
Whoa. Okay, not much, huh? All right.
Niece.
Time for Q&A.
This is the portion of the show.
Not much I wouldn't take.
Come through, take.
I said what I said.
You guys make me laugh. I feel a little bit better today.
4 categories. Dex, why that?
Jason, that is not the category.
That first category.
Topic number 1.
Jason, that is not the category. What is that title?
That is one of the categories.
Topic number 1, amateur sex worker.
Oh, well, that escalated.
Topic number 2, evicted auntie.
That's it. That's all we need to know. Those 2, they win.
My baby. And topic number 4, social media boundaries.
Let's get them top 2. We already know the bottom titles. 4. If you got to ask about tweeting it, don't tweet it. It's crossing the line, okay?
It's your baby. You name it what you want.
There we go.
That question actually is a little bit different. It's a little bit more controversial than that. I don't know if you can really capture the whole controversy.
You picked the next 2 though, because you know my messy ass.
Did I bloviate the titles? Did I bloviate a little bit?
The first title is like you made it sound more interesting than it really was. But I mean, let's go for it.
No.
Wait.
I think it's pretty interesting.
Wait.
I say we just do 1 and 3.
1 and 3? Okay, let's do 1 and 3.
All right, well, let's go with it.
Number 1, Dex is like amateur sex worker. I want it, please.
So you guys wanted this, and now you have it. I have what I guess I'd call a boundary question. One of my coworkers, he's a peer, has a podcast with his wife relating to marriage and sex. He uses LinkedIn to promote it. His LinkedIn is connected to our company as well. While I don't think there's anything personally I need to do about it, considering our boss is also connected to him on LinkedIn, and I figured if he's got a problem with it, he can address it directly. Where's the line in terms of promoting personal projects of a sometimes personal nature on LinkedIn while also being connected to your company? See, I told you I wasn't interested in y'all thought.
I wouldn't do it personally. I don't.
Jason really spun that title, didn't he?
That was a title.
We wouldn't do it. Like, this is literally not even your business. You told us in the question that it's not your business. Okay,
like you right, like you dry snitching on your coworker. Like you
snitching hard, ain't she?
The boss doesn't care, so he just do. Moving on.
All right, that was
your boss
quick.
probably
Next.
listening to the podcast.
Get some tips.
Before we started going out, my husband was in a long-term relationship with a woman with a pretty unique name. They haven't kept in touch. Now I'm pregnant with our first child, a girl, due in the spring. He would like to name her the same thing as his ex. She's not the only person in the world with this name, but it is certainly uncommon. I think it's a lovely name, but I'm a little weirded out by the fact that this is his ex-girlfriend's name, and I'm worried others will be too. Is it acceptable?
Absolutely, it's acceptable, girl. What you mean? You have a right to be upset. I mean, it's not. That's your ex-girlfriend. That's your husband's ex-girlfriend's name, and especially if it's unique.
What you need to be finding out, what you need to find out is if that's his ex-girlfriend or if that's still his girlfriend. That's what you need to be finding out.
She said they don't communicate. They haven't kept in touch.
Okay.
That's what it says.
I'm a doctor.
I do not find that course of action acceptable. So I would have to veto that. It's
what
just.
Do you mean? You don't find which course of action? Him naming the baby after Dex, or her saying something about it?
Her naming him naming the baby after the ex is not happening.
Okay. Dex, you have any qualms? Okay.
Nothing else.
All right. We have time for one more. Evicting auntie or social media boundaries? I feel like social media boundaries is the one.
All right, let's do it.
Well, let's go with it.
All righty.
We have time for one. We never have time for anything.
We really don't.
I have a colleague, Peter, it's kind of small, who I've known for several years. We worked together at a festival and added each other on Facebook/phone. Over the time, we have become friends. Although I see him more of a colleague, as he is 20 years older than I am, with a kid, and I'm a student. Recently, he has been pestering me over social media and on the phone when I ignore his messages. I shouldn't ignore him, but he frequently sends me random unsolicited updates on his life.
I thought I was going to say unsolicited something else. I'm so glad it wasn't.
I'm telling you.
Personal accounts of his breakup, often at 2 a.m., and I didn't know how to respond. I've stopped responding as I don't have time for or emotional energy to deal with him right now. I think he is just looking for a friendly ear, but I'm struggling to deal with someone who is so emotionally vulnerable and so different from me. When I do respond, we get our wires crossed, so I try to keep my replies neutral. Peter constantly questions how deep our friendship really is, and I clarify I've always seen him as a friendly
questions.
From my point of view, him pouring out all these emotions on me seems very strange. As shortly he has had closer confidants his own age. I probably sound quite cold. No, you don't. But I don't think he should be discussing the legal issues and horrible drama of his breakup with me. I want to maintain our good working relationship, but I don't know how I can enforce boundaries, particularly on social media. Help. I think that was pretty good. I don't think that you're out of order at all. I think that Peter's out of order.
I mean, have you guys dealt with somebody like this before? I mean, how do you keep somebody out?
There's a guy, Sam, that we went to college with. Legit. No, seriously. Sam, we went to college with, and he's like that. Like, he would message me stuff, and like we weren't close like that in college or whatever. So it's like, why are you sending me messages and stuff? And for me, like, we didn't work with each other, so like it's not the exact same situation. But we were never friends in college. Because you guys know him from college, whatever. We were never friends. So like, and for me, like, I don't have an issue with telling somebody, like, I don't see us as friends. Like, we're not friends. I never had that issue with anyone. And I'm very particular about who I consider a friend. So, like, and I feel like you should be the same way and just let Peter know, like, bro, like, we're cool, but, like, I would prefer to have this, like, as a working relationship. And, like, I don't feel comfortable having these kind of conversations with you.
For more questions,
and also, your first mistake was to give your Facebook and your phone number out to someone you just met at a festival. Like, you're there to work. Your coworkers are not your friend. Get your check and go home.
We're appalled. Because we apologize. Wow.
All right. More questions.
So anyway.
BroTalkLive.com. Look, if you have problems with this person, seriously, just stop talking to him. I think that's the best course. Block them if you need to, but that'll get the message across faster than anything. If you just block them, they will know that they cannot reach out to you in that manner ever again, and that'll be the end of it, right? Cool.
Right.
I mean, my personal opinion with everything is speak up for yourself. Like, you always say what you do and do not accept. Like, I always, like, you will tell people how you need to be treated. And you're finding people are doing things to you that make you uncomfortable because you're letting them do it. So you need to tell him up front, like, I'm not comfortable with this relationship. I'm not comfortable hearing about these things. This is the type of relationship I see for us. And if that doesn't work for you, then I think that then we need to cut it off. And it's really that simple. You need to be upfront. Like, this guy is, that's not going to work. Like, I don't want to hear this.
All right. BroTalkLive.com/questions if you have any questions to submit to us. Time. One thing we didn't talk about yet was the fact that Blac Chyna has been impregnated by her 18-year-old boyfriend. Her boyfriend's name is YBN Almighty J, and YBN Almighty J says that they met on Christian Mingle. He said, quote, "I don't wear no condoms. I would not want to F a B if I didn't want to get her pregnant. If Chyna got pregnant, I would keep that ass like, oh, daddy, I love you. I love that ass." As we know, Blac Chyna is 11 years older than young YBN Almighty J. So we're going to play a game today. That's correct. We're going to play a game called Hi, My Name Is. And this is about a lot of the new rap titles, because YBN, do you guys know what that means?
No.
So let's start that right now. What does YBM stand for?
Young black nigga.
Young black nigga? Dex?
I was thinking what he said.
All right, Bill, do you know what you're in the record industry? Do you know what YBN stands for?
Caught that.
Young broke nigga.
Close, very close. But no, a lot of people say young B word, N word, but no, it stands for young boss nigga.
Oh,
good day.
What is YFN? YFN is another one. What does YFN stand for?
Young fly N-word.
There we go, Dex. Good guess. Good guess. And the youngest YFN is YFN Lucci, who is currently 27 and dating 18-year-old Ray Janae Carter, which is Lil Wayne's daughter. So another instance of, age ain't nothing but a number. Going down ain't nothing but a thing. I don't know why I said that. What does the NBA and NBA Youngboy stand for? He's a rap artist. You'll learn more about him during the
not basketball
freshman.
associated.
Not basketball associated.
Yeah,
creative. Ty, what does NBA Youngboy? What does
No
NBA
bitches allowed.
Bill, do you have any clue?
I clearly no idea.
All right. It's actually a trick question because while he goes as NBA Youngboy, his actual name, when he's spelled out, is Youngboy Never Broke Again. So it would be Youngboy NBA, but he goes by NBA Youngboy. So it's kind of a trick question. So it's Youngboy
Never Broke Again, Young Boy.
I don't know where he's. I think he's from Chicago or something. I'm not sure where he's from. All right. Next question. Who was
out there in Chicago? So you gotta be careful with them.
Lil. What's the first Lil? Who was the first Lil?
Lil Bow Wow.
We got Lil Wayne, Lil Bow Wow.
Lil Bow Wow was first. Legend.
Lil Kim was first.
Lil Kim.
Okay, now we talk Lil Kim. I'll go with that.
I don't know her.
You think Lil Kim was the first Lil?
Who else?
Lil Caesar.
No, Lil
Who
Kim.
the hell is Lil Caesar?
Or Lil C's. Isn't that somebody's name? Like Lil.
Yeah, Lil C's. Lil C's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lil C's.
Okay, so you're going with Lil C's.
I would go with Lil Bow Wow, to be honest with you.
But Lil Kim came before Lil Bow Wow.
Do we have records to prove that? Because I don't recall.
The first Lil was not from the Rugrats fame. It was actually Lil Troy, who had the song "Wanna Be a Baller." Shot caller.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, that's Lil Troy from Houston.
I was about to say he's from Texas.
Yep, back in 1988.
Yeah, I know of him.
All right, how many Lils can we name? Let's just go back and forth until we run out of Littles. Dex, you start.
Lil Wayne.
All right, Ty.
Lil Bow Wow.
All right, Bill.
Lil Kim.
All right, Dex.
Lil. Sorry, I couldn't think of anybody, and then Lil Kim was on my head. I'm so sorry.
All the Littles out there right now.
I think that's everybody, right?
No, what about Lil Yachty? Isn't that his name?
All right, Ty, Lil Yachty, Bill.
Lil Uzi.
All right, Ty, deck you out.
Oh, I'm sorry, I lost.
Think, Ty. Come on.
Lil C's.
Oh, clutch, Bill.
Lil Pump.
Oh, that's a good one, Lil Pump.
Oh man. I don't know anymore. I'm out.
Bill, you got one for the win. One for the win, Bill. One for the win.
Lil Jon.
Oh, Lil Jon, that's a good one. I forgot about Lil Jon.
We can never say there's too many Lils out here. We can't even name 3.
You guys said Lil Wayne, you said Lil Kim,
Lil Zane. I forgot about them.
Lil Romeo,
Oh, Lil Mo. I forgot about him.
Lil Mo, Lil Twist.
Lil Skies. Who the hell's that?
He's a new artist. Lil Skies, Lil Xan. He's also a new artist. Talking about Xannies, Xanaxes. So shout out to all the Lils, and that was the Fun Jizz Time game called Hi. My name is. It's time for Dex's BS report. You guys like that?
I'll be fairly quick today. So the first BS report is in New York City, in Brooklyn to be exact. So there was a postal worker who consistently got complaints because people weren't getting mail that was on their route. And they always said, like, I have no idea why these people aren't getting this mail. I'm delivering it. So one day there was an investigation launched, and it showed that the man actually, instead of delivering the mail, he would just sit on it and take it to his house. They went to his house to investigate, and he had 17,000 packages, unopened packages, but 17,000 packages just chilling in his living room. The man is actually facing charges now because stealing people's mail is actually a federal offense.
It is.
Huh?
I said, I bet it is. Hell yeah.
And also, now while we're on the subject of public workers, there was in Texas a 911 worker who was now being fired after they noticed that her calls just got shorter and shorter. And they're like, why do you have 911 calls at 40 something seconds? She then told them, like, it's been going on for a year now. She said, like, sometimes I answer the phone when somebody comes through, and if a person is too loud or they're screaming or they're yelling, I figured that, like, I don't need that kind of negativity, so I hang up the phone. So there would be people in Texas who would be calling the police, and they're, probably a little upset and probably yelling and screaming. Those people, they get the FU button. She hangs up on them. And finally, in New York City, there was a man who was in a concussion after he was jumped. They said he was stomped with boots, and the man went into a concussion and told the world that he actually saw Jesus. He said, as I was trying to wake up or whatever, I saw Jesus. He was lifting me up or whatever. I know this was Jesus. He had on Timberland boots.
Girl.
Timberland boots, but I couldn't see his face or whatever. Doctors actually believe that
the story's out of Brooklyn. Hold on. The story's out of Brooklyn, of course.
It's in New York.
Yeah, of course.
The doctor believes that the Timberland boot that he saw Jesus in was actually the boot that knocked him out.
Exactly.
And actually, I have one.
That you sent him to Jesus. That's what it did.
I have one more BS report. There is a new trend going around with engaged couples where they're actually sending out to along with their invitations, they're sending out a bill or an itinerary, they're sending out a bill. For $250, they're telling the guests, like, if you would like to attend the wedding, you need to pay us $250. That covers your plate, and that also covers entertainment, and that reserves you a seat at the ceremony. And that has been
smart
for the week.
Come through advanced ticket sales. I hear that.
A friend of mine had that happen, and I was like, damn, I wish I would have thought of that.
Exactly. That's how I feel. Like, I can't even be mad. Like, I wish I would have charged people to come to my wedding. That would have been awesome.
Dude, why do you have to pay for the whole thing?
Paid enough.
I mean, but I guess you wouldn't really get gifts if you did. So
who cares? Like, who wants them? I mean, I was so grateful.
I got a lot of cash and gifts. So shout out to everybody that.
But you would have gotten more cash had everyone at the wedding paid up front.
No, you wouldn't. Well, not for me, because I wouldn't have come.
I got a lot of cash.
Asking me to pay to come see you get married. You chose to do this. I'm good. I'm not paying to see you get married.
It's jacked up.
Listen, all the money we spent on the wedding, I'm still reeling back from it. I'm not paying to see another person get married ever again.
Especially if you have to, like, transport yourself over there. Like, that's a little much. All right, time for seats, Bill.
This is a section of the show where we Just give out seats to people that agitate us.
Hold up, Bill. I do have to say this. This is what I have to say. Dex, for his part, hosted seats that first week that you were gone, and he did a phenomenal job.
Let him host it then.
And he wasn't.
No, I'm not saying let him host it. I'm just saying that I'm just letting you know that Dex brought it, so you just got to bring it.
Dex, it's time for seats.
No, don't do that to me. I'm not.
And
I'm not trying to
really brought it. I mean, Jason and I were so impressed with how.
It's not a shot at you. We're just saying that
there's a little the viewers have heard something different, and we want to make sure we stay consistent.
And you had to tell him that, like, on air. Like, you couldn't just tell him that yesterday. Like, oh, maybe you have to tell him that, like, oh, by the way.
My bad, Bill. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Dex?
I apologize, Bill. I apologize. I'm sorry. Accept my apology.
Dex, come on.
All right, Dex, go ahead.
I do actually have a really good seat today. It's not even for another person. It's more so for me. Will, you'll be very disappointed in me. So yesterday, I looked at my Comcast bill. My bill was $100, and my bill's normally like $60. So I called Comcast, like, obviously, right?
Hold up, your bill's only $60 for cable and internet?
Oh, well, I don't have internet. I don't have cable.
Oh, okay, cool. I understand now.
But you have cable in 2018?
Yeah, girl. I need to watch these shows.
Grow up. So anyway, I called Comcast ready to go off. I'm just like, my cable bill's higher, this, that, and the third. You know how you do it. You call Comcast, whatever. And then the woman's like, she got her supervisor or whatever. I said, go get your supervisor. You can't help me. Actually, I told them, I said, what is your purpose? I said, what is your purpose? What is your purpose? You don't have a purpose. Go get your supervisor. So she's like, I just have to talk to my supervisor, whatever. I said, So she comes back and she tells me all this stuff or whatever. And I'm like,
hold up, did you type back?
Well, after typing, I went and called the physical person.
I thought you typed back. I was like, that's so disrespectful.
Well, I will say, though, with the typing portion of it, at one point they wrote through like THRU, and I saw that. I said, no, you spelled that wrong. And I told them how to spell it correctly. So nasty. But
Dex sent the screenshots, by the way, if you want to know how I saw it. He sent us all screenshots at the time.
But I didn't see you.
It was very nasty. For those of you who think that Dexter is a nice person, he was very
it gets worse because they will, after this, they'll think I'm a nice person. And I also didn't send y'all no information on this because, well, I want to save it for the show. So she comes over, she gives me very generic information, and I'm like, I said to her, like, don't you feel like that was generic information you just gave me? Then she's like, what do you mean? And I explained to her, I was like, what you just told me was very basic about how my bill's going to be credited or whatever. And she was like, yeah, that was. But I said, so why did you need to get your supervisor to tell you that? Like, do you not know? Like, are you dumb? So then she's like,
God,
no, I'm sorry. I said, go get your supervisor. We're done here. Y'all, the supervisor got on the phone. I swear it was my grandma because she lit me up. Like, she was like, she started talking, and you know me, I'm like, no, this, then, and shit. I'm talking. And she put me in my place. Like, the woman on Comcast was just like, she was just like, if you listen for a second, and then she was like going in on me. And I was like,
tore you up.
I was like, oh, okay. At the end of it, though, she did credit my bill. I'm going to get a $15 credit monthly, and they credited the bill another $15, which I got today. But still, although they did credit me or whatever, and I'm happy with like the bill. My bill's lower than somebody.
Mama snatched your stole.
But she got me together.
Dex, you know I'm sorely disappointed in you. I am sorely, the very next time you get on the phone with Cash, you need to call me on three-way. I have not paid for HBO in the last 10 years. Like, I'm not paid for it. I haven't paid for Showtime, anything.
Bill, you can't lay out an old lady.
Like, that woman wasn't letting me talk. She had her foot on my neck the entire conversation. Like, she owned me.
She owns you. That's why she's in charge.
I will lay out.
And at the end, I let you know. I said, now I see why you're the supervisor. Thank you so much.
Okay. Didn't get there by mistake, let me tell you. Bill, you got a seat?
I can't give my seat for legal reasons. So.
I have a seat.
Go ahead.
I got news that T-Mobile and Sprint were merging.
T-Mobile and Sprint, yep.
Here's the thing. You're getting together and probably providing some of the worst service.
The two worst services in America
has ever seen. And when I tell you, both T-Mobile and Sprint are terrible. and I mean awful services, like to get together and like provide the worst. I mean, I just can't imagine. Like, why would you do that?
Well, well, no one's. What's the word? Are they going to end Sprint? Because are they going to end T-Mobile? Because I heard it wasn't going to be like a merger. It's going to be like one's going to buy out the other one. So I think Sprint probably has more money than T-Maybe, so they'll probably end up buying T-Maybe.
I don't know.
It's good.
Yeah, but regardless though, like if you have one of those two services, your bills, they're gonna get you. They're gonna stick it to you on the bills. Because like think about all the times you're like, I'm gonna leave you and go to T-Mobile. I'm gonna leave you and go to Sprint. Like now they're gonna be like, oh, remember when you left me?
That's right. And
if Sprint buys T-Maybe, it's completely a wrap for every single person. Because they used to be Sprint PCS. And I remember back when they used to be Sprint PCS, them bills used to magically skyrocket from like $30 to $150 overnight. And you like, well, what the hell have I been doing? Like, who I've been calling? That's been
Sprint knows how to charge you up. Good.
Sprint know how to charge.
Sprint is the T-Mobile. Sprint is the Comcast of the phone world. And if you've owned Sprint ever, you've spent time, lots of time, laying them out. Lots of time. It's like a right.
That's what we spent our entire college career doing, was laying out Sprint. So shout out to Sprint. The reason, if you guys don't know, that we call it T-Maybe is because maybe you have service, maybe you don't. So that's why we call it T-Maybe. So if you've watched the show for a while, you've probably picked up on that. All right. My seed is going to go to none other than someone crashed and burned. Speaking of crashing and burning, my seat's going to go to Kim Kardashian. And it's not for the reason that you guys think. She, of course, defended her husband, which we all expected. But the reason she defended her husband was because she says that Kanye is way ahead of his time, and that we will all catch up to him in about 3 years because he's years ahead of his time with his thinking. That is the entire problem with Kanye West. The problem is that he thinks he's so smart that he can say whatever he wants, and then we'll catch up, because he was able to do that with his music, and he was able to do that with his fashion, and he was able to do that with his shoes and everything else, whatever like that. That does not apply to logic. You cannot be logically 3 years ahead when it comes to facts. Facts are facts. You cannot sit here and act like someone is smarter than you when the facts prove otherwise. So it's because of these enablers like Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner and all these people who are around him that are telling him that he's brilliant and that he is the greatest artist of our generation and that he can do no wrong and stuff like that. It is these reasons that Kanye thinks that he can just say whatever he wants, and he could bring Candace Owens onto TMZ and just have a good old time, and people will follow him. And I'm so happy that Van Lathan and someone finally checked him in public, because I'm sure people had John Legend checked him in the messages app or whatever on his iPhone, and he posted it. But you know, it's thrown away with a grain of salt because Kanye accepted it. I'm just so glad that someone on camera, on film, said basically what everyone was thinking, and that Kanye, you're speaking from a place of ignorance. You're not speaking from a place of knowledge. You're speaking because you don't know what's going on. You're not speaking about what you know. You're just speaking because you have nothing else to say, and you're trying to garner attention, and we all see through it. So the jig is up, and I can't see a way that I can sit here and say that Kanye West is my favorite artist again, or Kanye West is the artist of our generation, or something like that. I've moved on to Kendrick Lamar, so I'm completely fine. I don't need Kanye West to be my musical savior or anything like that anymore. It's not 2006, and I think we can all grow up and move on. There we go.
Now, two things really quickly. I know that's amazing of you. Is Taylor Swift now invited to the cookout?
Taylor Swift is still excluded from the cookout.
and also earlier in the show, I said there was a seat I would give out for a person liking stuff without actually putting it on their timeline. The person is Gabrielle Union. If you guys go to Gabrielle Union's Twitter page and go through her likes right now, like you'll notice she's very vocal. She's against R. Kelly. She's against Kanye West. But if you go through the timeline, she doesn't post about that kind of stuff. But you go through her likes, and she's so anti Kanye West, and so like she's real sneaky. I don't like that.
Well, she can't make it public, so yeah.
See, that's what I mean. Don't be weak. Speak out.
That brand is strong. All right. Any more comments? Anyone else have any more seats? We good to go?
No seats or anything but that. Thank you guys for listening to the show. And if you guys are a fan of podcasts, and you live in the Philadelphia area or anywhere, Patty Jackson, who's a radio legend in Philadelphia, she hosts the podcast, Patty and the Millennials. Tomorrow, I will be on the podcast. So if you guys can check that out.
I thought it was gonna be in a few weeks or a month or so. Now you back right back on. The rate is skyrocketed.
I'm on tomorrow, so I think it'll be a pretty fun episode. I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot going on this week. And I'm super excited about it. So I will be sure to post everything about it as well. And you guys definitely tune in and check it out.
Ty, any announcements? We good?
No.
All right, Bill, any announcements?
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to all of the seniors, high school seniors who were accepted. Today is like decision day or commitment day. Tomorrow is like
for athletics.
No, for like colleges. So they're like making it a big thing in the school district. Of Philadelphia, like it's a big
I thought that was
event.
just for college athletics. It's for like everybody. Ah,
the way it started out initially for college athletics, and now because they're trying to,
because these kids ain't going to school.
Right, school ain't helping none. So, so tomorrow.
Also, shout out to all the graduates out there. I graduated 7 years ago today from Lincoln University, and also they caught Osama bin Laden and killed him today. And this was one of the funniest episodes. Celebrity Apprentice on today.
You're correct. Yeah, that was the same exact day that Obama and Celebrity Apprentice happened. Sorry, Bill. Bill, you still here?
Nope, the hell with it.
I can't hear you, William.
Y'all remember when Barack walked through though, and that little Prince right after Apprentice went off? He actually cut off Apprentice, didn't
he? During it.
Yeah, he cut it off. And that's why Donald Trump ran for president. So we're here because of this day. What was it? Six years ago?
7 years ago.
7 years ago? I was close. 7 years ago. When we caught Osama bin Laden and Barack Obama came strutting down that red carpet, letting us know, look, bruh, I got him. So shout out to you, President Obama, always and forever.
Did he cut off The Apprentice when Dionne Warwick was on?
No, it was when the one that Nene Leakes was on. It's like the only season I really watched.
That was the same one. Nene Leakes, Latoya Jackson, Dionne Warwick, same season.
Oh, I remember Dionne Warwick. What she look like?
You remember she had that hair combed out. She was trying to work that cash register and that piece thing. Remember she was trying to work that cash register and she couldn't work it. And Latoya Jackson told her to get out the way.
That's the episode Nene called her a ghost.
Called it a full ass ghost. All right, don't forget, like, subscribe, tell a friend, and comment. If you have nothing to do, please watch Celebrity Apprentice with Nene Leakes, Dionne Warwick, and Star Jones. That season was the greatest ever. But yeah, always F Donald Trump. Don't forget, Bro Talk Live, we're out on the mark. Check us out. Our podcast drops tomorrow. Questions, comments, concerns, hit us up on our Twitter and Instagram pages throughout the week. Woman Curse Wednesday is tomorrow, so shout out to Dex for getting that all together. And Throwback Thursday will be Thursday. Friday, we're going to have something to get you ready for the weekend coming up this week. And Sunday, is it Saturday? Talk Up Saturday?
Sunday is Q&A Sunday.
Q&A Sunday. All right, cool. And we have things all through the week, so shout out to you. Shout out to us. Shout out to Instagram. Shout out to Twitter. Shout out to everything. BroTalkLive.com for Dex, for Ty, for Bill. My name is Jason, and we will see you bright and early, 7 o'clock Eastern on next Tuesday. Bye. We out.